Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Let's get into, I think it's 15 steps I have written out today. I'm going to try to make them relatively quick so these videos aren't too long, but let's talk about sort of what it looks like when you have a more anxious or preoccupied attachment style. Now, really quickly, as a quick reminder, I would say that the parenting or caregiving style that goes with this one is often called an outside-in orientation. And what that really means is that the child, because of the parents' inconsistencies, inability to be, have a good timed response in terms of attunement, because of the parents' anxiety, the child learns to be hypervigilant and to be always focusing first on the caregiver to see what the caregiver needs. And so that creates an outside in, where it's like we're always looking for other people on the outside to then determine what we are supposed to feel on the inside. And so that is the heart of what this style does. And I would say that compulsive caretaking, people pleasing, rotating around others, and at the core having a deep fear about relationship dynamics and health, and sort of always being overly focused on, are they going to leave me? Are they safe? Is this a good attachment? Can I trust them? That's always being focused on them, on their actions, on how they respond to you. And so it's really hard to feel a sense of security when you're always sort of giving all of that internal security to someone else, because people get busy. They have their own issues, right? We can't always rely on them. So this work is about learning how to internalize and soothe your own attachment so you can show up in calmer, more secure ways, first with yourself and obviously with partners. Okay, so the first issue is that because you were this sort of outside in orientation type behavior in your childhood, where you tend to focus on others' state of mind at the expense of your own, meaning you sacrifice your own state of mind. You don't even really look at it first. You have learned to be more focused, as I said, on others' needs more than your own. And so the first step is learning how to begin to identify your own needs. Well, what do I want in this situation? What would feel right for me? How do I feel and in my body about this decision? Does this feel like a good, regulated decision, or am I just sort of like a ping pong ball reacting? So the first step is even just learning how to identify your own feelings and your own emotions.
And Dizzle, who is that? She was cooking with the rarest grease. Dr. Kim Sage. Yes, we've played her several times on this show, and every time we've played any clip from her, she's been on complete fire. The voice of reason, coming to you with another powerful topic for tonight. I see two groups of people. Like, this attachment stuff is real popular right now, especially, with the rise of TikTok. So there's a lot of people on TikTok talking about attachment theory, and there's a very popular book out called Attached, but that's not the only book that's out. And so you guys hear me talk about this, weekly on the Voice of Reason here at KBLA Talk 1580. And I have a different perspective. So the two people that we talk about is, you get the one group of people that see their attachment style as a kind of badge to wear. Like, oh, I'm in the avoidant group. Avoidance, whoop, or fearful gang over here, disorganized gang, or anxious gang, right? You have people that kind of, take their attachment style, if they've gone to figure it out, gone to a therapist to discover what it is, they kind of add that to, this is how we get down, There's that group. Then there's another group that kind of villainizes, like something's wrong with, people who have, APs always tripping. They, you always got to prove yourself to an anxious preoccupied. They need reassurance, right? It's very interesting. So you have some that kind of say something's wrong with those people. Oh, don't ever date an avoidant, especially a dismissive avoidant. Oh my God, they're the worst, right? You get that. But my take on it, and it's very interesting, we're going to talk about it tonight. My take is that the styles, the attachment styles, are like schools of thought, philosophies. You can even take it like in Hinduism. There are many different types of yoga practices. Now, the unfortunate part about these particular attachment styles is that, especially when they're insecure, they've been conditioned to get what they didn't get in childhood. As you heard from the clip, the outside-in parenting style. Dr. Kim Sage explained that quite well. These are schools that must be graduated from. Well, you say, well, if you have that attachment style and you got it from your primary caregiver, how can you graduate from it, right? And how do you even know to graduate from it, right? Well, if you're reading the literature and not just, the popular books that are out here in the world, not just the popular books, but if you're reading the books that the clinicians are writing, you can rewrite or recontextualize your insecure attachment style. Tonight's topic: attachment as chosen karma. The provocative idea that your style is your soul's self-selected boot camp. The spiritual syllabus / curriculum, right? This psycho-spiritual boot camp for insecure attachment. That's what we're talking about tonight. What are the psychological and spiritual lessons associated with each insecure attachment style, and how can they be transcended or reprogrammed? 1-800-920-1580. You already know this is going to be out of this world. Many people say, why do I keep getting the same kind of person? Right? A therapist is good. Go to therapy, because, especially a good therapist, right? Man, they can help you discover parts of yourself that you didn't know was in operation, right? Was making decisions on your behalf, right? Oh, I got a broken picker. I picked the wrong persons. I do. Nah, it's a lack of self-awareness. And that's a big piece in, calling in or bringing in the right kind of person. Some people weaponize their insecure attachment. They look for partners that fit, right, the conditioning that they, got in early childhood. The conditioning of, well, if I'm dismissive avoidant, I'm independent, and I can't, trust that love is good because, my first dance with it, the first wound that I got around intimacy, around care, around my emotions and all of that was shut down. So some people will say, oh, okay, well, I'm like this, so let me find somebody that I can kind of manipulate into maintaining this, right? Y'all ready for tonight? It's going to get deep. Before language, before the mother tongue, before even the spark of I, there was the hum. Hindus call it Om. Not a polite hum, but the deep tectonic seismic hum that splits mountains and folds oceans into themselves. Tonight on the VOR, that hum will be rising in you. Listen, do you feel the small tremor inside your ribs? That is not anxiety. That is the earth of your nervous system preparing to rearrange itself. Attachment science calls it activation. Ancient mystics called it the roar of awakening. Either way, it will not ask for permission. You have been told that love is a gentle meadow, but the meadow is really a dojo. Have you ever been in a dojo? Every anxious text, every avoidant retreat, every fearful whiplash, these are not flaws, they are forms. Practice drills your soul designed long before your first breath. Not a punishment, but practice, right? The anxious heart. It does not merely cling, it manufactures intimate currency, similar to what the great ancestor Mansa Musa did in ancient Egypt. The anxious heart floods the relational market with kindness like a desperate central bank of affection. Every gift carries a hidden watermark. Don't leave. But the Tao laughs. Every overprinted kindness devalues the very love it seeks to preserve. The counter move is terrifyingly simple. Just pause mid-gesture. Let the cup stay empty. Don't chase. Just stop. Taste the oxygen of self-worth that needs no witness. On the other hand, the avoidant, architect of disappearing acts. They build fortresses of competence, skyscrapers of achievement, then hide in the penthouse of I'm fine. But the body betrays that BBL, that big, bold lie. It's like cortisol leaking from a silent alarm. The drill here is to stay in the room while the urge to exit howls. Presence becomes revolution. Receiving care without debt becomes an act of holy rebellion. The fearful, the disorganized, they summon chaos like a prophet of catastrophe. Better to burn the house yourself than wait for lighting. Yet lighting is only electricity seeking ground. Your task is grounding. Green light, yellow light, red light, breath as a semaphore. Hold both truths. I want you and I fear you, until the war inside you bows to the paradox. And what of the rest of us? We have mistaken our survival code for our identity. But identity is only a rumor that ego keeps telling. The Buddha whispered, the poison is the medicine. Oh yeah, that's what Buddha said. Lao Tzu counsels. Stop forcing the river. Become the river. The Upanishads sing, Tat Tivam Asi. You are that. James Baldwin shouts across generations, nothing can be changed until it is faced. The great Pasadena legend, John Muir High legend, Octavia Butler adds, change is God. Face it now. Face the choreography you have danced for decades. Face the protest disguised as love, the silence masquerading as strength, the chaos pretending to be passion. Then practice the unthinkable. When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to continue this bonfire.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of Black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling Black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic Black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandlost.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
You want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I hear the beat of swinging notice if my name was David Ruffin. Quick to toast an MC just like an English muffin. Don't worry about a thing because the poop is never bluffing. I catch headaches from the whack, so then I take a buffin' and I max. I wait until the opportune time and then I tax. But should I max? Now they say sinning is for sinners, so I guess I'm not a sinner. Beginners for beginners, so I guess I'm no beginner. This is how I spark it, puts loot in my pocket. When it comes to having pleasure, I get hard as a rocket. MC Grand Poo coming through all the residue. The songs remain classic, dating back to the Babalu. My boys are calling out. The phones out of them jocking. I can think of many episodes I swung down Lincoln Park. No, I'm not a phony, and I got a tenderoni. Love the way she is, not too fat, not too bony. Don't drink, sing, I won't sing like a thing.
And so then what will happen is we form these deep beliefs about who we are in relationships, but unfortunately, these same beliefs associated with our different attachment styles will also be what we believe about ourselves in the workplace, in our friendships, in terms of how we operate financially. It can really spread into multiple areas of life. And a lot of the roots of these things actually exist from like how we attach and what we experience in our environment as young children.
Wow, I love that you just put this thing that every one of us struggles with. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, okay, today I'm not going to be anybody. Today I am not going to, I'm going to exercise. Tonight I'm not going to pour myself a glass of wine. I have all of these conscious intentions, but then things happen throughout the day and I find myself dropping into the same behavior. And it is incredibly frustrating. And so if I'm tracking with what you're saying, your theory and what you do out in the world, you now have 31,000 people that you are working with through your company on the stuff that you're about to teach us. You're saying that we can identify those rules and behaviors that run in the background that drive our entire life, and we can change them.
100%.
That is amazing because we've talked about attachment style and attachment theory on this podcast before. And I find that a lot of the material on attachment theory is very interesting and empowering when you understand what your attachment style is. Mm-hmm. But I've always felt when I learn about my attachment style, it's sort of like, okay, that's your attachment style. But I've never felt like there's a way to change it.
Absolutely.
And you can change it.
Yes. So we actually created a whole body of work called integrated attachment theory. And the whole purpose of it is not to just discover your attachment style and really see who you are and what your patterns are, but then to be able to use that. Because just knowing something doesn't give you a whole lot of context until you're able to say, okay, here's what I don't like about this, and here's
Right.
how I can recondition what's not working for me. And if you're not born with something like an attachment style, if it gets conditioned into you over time, we're just reconditioning to move into a space that we're...
Come on. That's Mel Robbins and Thais Gibson. Listen. It's not like a zodiac sign. I'm a Taurus avoidant. No, it's not. You don't add it. You discover what it is, and then you go into the psycho-spiritual dojo, right? To change it, right? To correct it, to learn from it, to grow, to expand, right? Again, TikTok made it popular. It's everywhere. But the reality of it is, it can be very difficult to be with certain kinds of... Listen, I'm an anxious preoccupied. And boy, it's tough being an anxious preoccupied. Now, I'm only saying I'm anxious preoccupied because, you know, when I sat with my therapist folk and did my heavy investigation into me, that was a while ago. And I've been on the journey, like, understanding what I'm about. Like, I do that to my detriment. Let me tell you something. I attract avoidance. And they come in tripping. Listen. I was talking to a woman who's a clinical psychologist. I said, hey, your heart is going to open. Wait, why? What do you mean? I have nieces for that. She explained to me that she has a sprinkle of avoidance. I said, you had a whole attachment injury because I said, you got to open your heart. You went right to, I got nieces and nephews for that. Do you understand? This attachment stuff is real. And just because somebody has whatever name they have, it doesn't mean that they're fully healed. Do you understand? The work is ongoing. It must be done. And this is why I am framing it tonight like you're in a spiritual dojo, and your only opponent is your conditioning, and it's survival conditioning that must be recontextualized, as Thais Gibson and Mel Robbins just explained. Do you understand? As a recovering anxious preoccupied, we have to talk about intimate inflation. We create inflation in relationships by wanting to love you. Some people fear. Hey, listen, when I come forward, it's going to get even deeper. Let's go.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson are blasting President Trump over his threat to send the National Guard to Chicago.
It has never come up. It never came up during the campaign. It's never come up in the first 2 years.
Johnson says no one asked for troops, while Pritzker accused Trump of, quote, losing it, end quote, and possibly suffering from dementia. Former President Barack Obama calls the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk a tragedy, saying political differences do not justify violence. Speaking in Pennsylvania, Obama said while he disagreed with Kirk's ideas, he was a young man with loved ones who are grieving and stressed democracy requires disagreement without violence. And rapper Cardi B revealed on CBS Mornings that she's expecting a baby with New England Patriots star Stefon Diggs. The news comes ahead of her new album, Am I the Drama, that releases Friday, and her Little Miss Drama tour in February. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Escape to poolside paradise at MGM Resorts in Las Vegas. Sip on a refreshing cocktail. Lounge in a luxury cabana. Earn on non-stop fun with MGM Rewards. Book a sizzling summer escape today. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Yo, it's Zoe Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now, most of the time, if you were to ask an avoidant partner what they need, they will tell you, I just need space. And they will define space primarily as physical space and time apart. But that's only because they don't know how to articulate and express what they really need, which is the emotional discipline required to experience more personal freedom in relationship. In fact, when they experience emotional freedom, they will want to be closer to you because they find it easier to be their authentic selves in your presence. Now,
so again, who was that, Andy? Brianna McWilliams. Okay, she says, if you allow dismissive avoidance, DAs, to feel emotional freedom in the relationship, the bond will get stronger. Right? Again, they didn't experience that in childhood. The emotional freedom or the full range of emotions was probably criticized, shut down. Can't be like that around here. I ain't raising no soft punk or no weak one, whatever that might have been, right? And then the opposite of that. So look at the conditioning as a style you learned, a style of survival that has to be undone. Before we came forward, and now full circle, we were talking about the anxious preoccupieds. I've learned to pull away from people that try to breadcrumb with that style, that try to be hot and cold, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I've learned to detach, right? Just pull back, right? Because trying to convince somebody or explain to somebody, even if you have a clinical perspective or whatever, trying to explain to an unwilling ear is futile. And if you're dealing with a person that views closeness and intimacy as a threat, you're not going to convince them anyway, because guess what happens with these insecure attachment styles? There will be activation. The activation of that wound is, I have to protect myself. Somebody's trying to get close. If you're dealing with a DA or an FA, fearful avoidant, because the fearful avoidant, or i.e. disorganized, they embody both the anxious preoccupied, which is, let me show you, let me prove it to you, that we can work it out. Let's talk about it. Right? And the dismissive avoidant, which is, I got it. I need space. Give me 5 feet. As a matter of fact, give me 100 yards or better. Right? The fearful avoidant is a combination of both, and you can look at them as in the same way that you would look at a pendulum. Based on how they're triggered or activated, they could swing avoidant. Oh, this is over with, I'm out of here. Or they could swing, right, anxious, which is, talk to me, call you 35 times. Right? I was dealing with an avoidant woman. I seem to attract them from all over the world. I was dealing with an avoidant woman that once I pulled away, literally complimented me for pulling away. I can see you've changed. You've matured. You're different. You're going to, and this is what you got to learn how to do this if you're AP. That you see that's a good thing. I can tell you've been working on yourself. You've grown. You've matured. Listen. That's coming from the perspective of the work not being done. Because if you're still manipulating to get what you want in the way that you got it when we were talking, that's not a compliment to put on your mantle. This is coming from a broken wound, like a broken person. Not to put them down. They still got work to do, but that's just what it is. So my anxious, preoccupied people, I talk about intimate inflation. Inflation is when the market got too much money in it. When there's too much money in the market, the money loses value, and that's when things start costing more. Right? Intimate inflation, how anxious attachment prints unlimited kindness currency until love loses value. Your psychological insight. Anxious givers, right, unconsciously flood partners with favors to avoid abandonment, creating protest behaviors that devalue each. This is Levine and Heller, right? Your philosophical insight here, Korzybski's map/territory gap exposes kindness as a linguistic hinge against impermanence. Let me just say, all the relationships are impermanent to some degree. You just have to live with that impermanence. But we've been, people with insecure attachment styles have been manipulating to get what we want for so long. We have this thought in our mind that we can control our partners. And if we can't control our partners, there's somebody else we can perform, well enough that will allow us to control them, especially if we're remotely successful or attractive. Your spiritual insight here is bhakti devotion becomes a bribe when love is offered to escape emptiness. In the Taoist concept, Wu Wei invites non-forcing generosity. Man, the type of free market economy we live in, everything has a ledger. We keeping a receipt for everything. So the whole concept of non-forcing generosity, that's like what I call organic reciprocity. You got so many ledger keepers, slight collectors, crazy, right? But I'm telling you, you can unlearn this defense mechanism, right? Your clinical and empirical insight here. Gottman's research shows overfunctioning predicts burnout and resentment, not security. When we come forward, we're going to bring our callers in because people want to talk. Does anybody out there know their attachment style? I'd like to know. And I want to know, how do you show up in relationships? Have you discovered your attachment style? And do you kind of manipulate your partner to get what you want? I want to know, what is your attachment style?
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a US-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Outside my window, flying freely, motionless in time. I often dream that you were here with me. Yeah. If I only could, be right there with you, I would. Maybe if I could be with you, you know I really would.
If you have a fearful avoidant attachment style, the problem is that you might be biased towards believing that acquiring a super deep understanding of yourself and other people is enough for being able to navigate intimate relationships effectively. And it would be so nice if it worked that way, but unfortunately it doesn't. Because the moment your attachment system is triggered and your fight or flight or freeze or fawn responses come online, your body does not care how many psychology textbooks you've read. It is going to react from a place of pure instinct. So these skills for healthy relating have to be built in the trenches, in the moments where you get activated or deactivated, and you're able to take a beat, choose a different response, and allow your body to log one more memory of a time when you were able to navigate a high-stakes situation with grace and with self-forgiveness. And that is where your true route to healing begins.
I like Heidi Priebe. You know, I do. I listen to her stuff, man. I can't really argue too much with Heidi Priebe. Now, it was a little basic, because, you know, it's deeper than that. We got some fearful avoidance in the chat right now. That'll tell you. It's way deeper than that. Like, I mean, that was sweet. That was cool. No disrespect to Heidi. We love Heidi. But that fearful avoidant get down is a different get down. That's like intimate MMA. Because you don't know what you're getting. You might get anxious, preoccupied, smothering. Oh, I love you, don't leave. Where are you going? I'm just going to the bathroom. Or you might get, give me my key back. Like, it can happen at any moment. We don't know. It's not that simple now. We got callers on the line. I want to get them in here right now. Jonathan from Atlanta, Georgia. Jonathan, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic? Jonathan, you there? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm here. How y'all doing? First, I want to say I appreciate you having me. I just recently started listening to your show, and I wish I did a long time ago.
Oh, man.
The amount of wisdom you have is needed. Anyway, though, so about the topic, I just recently got out of a relationship, and I didn't even know before this relationship what attachment styles were. And she introduced them to me. And then we broke up, and my birthday was last Friday, and we hadn't talked for probably like half a year. And then she called, and we kind of started talking again, and she told me that she thinks I'm a avoidant type style, which I think is crazy because whenever we'd have conflicts, I would be the one willing to listen and try to take accountability and try to work through it. But if it's about her behavior, she would try to not have that conversation and just like avoid it or whatever and dismiss it. So I guess my question is how do you know for sure what your attachment style is?
Therapy. To me, for sure, is a competent therapist. For sure. Right? That's a competent therapist. For sure. Now, you can go online and take tests, and here's the problem with the tests. People lie. So you go online and you take the attachment style test. First off, I don't know. Some of them cost. Some of them are free. I don't know how reliable those are. Right? So go to a therapist and figure it out. Right? Like, go figure it out. And here's the weird part about it. The insecure attachment, I think all attachment styles are attracted to each other, but there's something about this avoidant, anxious trap. The anxious preoccupied and the dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant, they tend to they're drawn to each other. And I think those relationships are stepping stone relationships that are designed to teach you something about yourself. Right? The anxious preoccupied is enamored by the dismissive avoidant because they feel like they may have something that they need, and vice versa. Right? And vice versa. And then on the inside of both those people, they're both inverted. So that external, I'm chasing you, anxious, preoccupied, I'm chasing you. But then when somebody chases the anxious, preoccupied, it's kind of like, don't chase me. You see? Or the dismissive avoidant is pushing away, but internally they want love. They want intimacy, but when intimacy shows up, they push it away. So they're inverted on the inside and attracted to each other on the outside for resolution. You see? Does that make sense to you?
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
And you haven't gone to a therapist to figure that out?
I have not, no.
Did she do hers?
She said she did, and she did some tests.
And what did she say her attachment style was?
I'm trying to remember exactly what she used. Whatever she said, it didn't match what I believe her attachment style to be from my experience with her.
Well, let me just tell you something. It's not like reading tea leaves. You gotta, hey, listen, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta go sit with a competent therapist. You can't just kind of like, this is not watching a basketball player. This is not the eye test. You can't just, yeah, look, the boy athletic. No, that it don't work like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really gotta, you know, and first off, never
somebody.
like never try to figure out what somebody else's attachment style is. Don't do that. Figure out yours, and then you'll have a better understanding of what you might be attracted to. And then you might have a better understanding of how you gonna show up in the relationship. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Jonathan, guess what you just did, brother?
What?
See, I know you don't. But see, I expect you to call more often. So whenever people call here, I ask them, guess what you just did? And then they respond, I brought my city in the building, whatever your city may be. So I'm going to ask you the question again, and let's see if you got it. Jonathan, guess what you just did?
I brought Atlanta in the building.
Come on, A! The A is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. I got my brother on the line. We might as well get him in here. Come on in. You already know who it is. Come on in. JW, South Central.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Hey. No, JW, you already know you can't be on speakerphone. I'm ready to talk to you, JW.
Okay, hold on, man. I have to turn the radio down. Unfortunately, it's a long story. I got one of these cheap phones.
Wait, hold on, JW. JW, hold on 1 second. Because we right up against the clock. I'm going to take you over into the 8 o'clock hour, and we're going to start the show with JW. Hey, the voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. And I know this is one of those touchy ones. I know people don't call in and tell me your attachment style and how has that worked for you?
And who's gonna listen when I'm calling, crying out, yet I get no reply. And so I look up to the sky.